Hello, dear learners. How are you doing? You are welcome to this video learning session produced by Rwanda Polytechnic. I'm Trainer Gerard from Masonry, and we are going to learn about steelwork. Today, we are going to perform a footing with some sub-column framework. Dear learners, I encourage you to follow this lesson, and you may take note if necessary. The work we are going to perform is this one. Here we have a plan of our footing and sub-column. We have a section XX. We have reinforcement perspective. We have finished the column in perspective, and you have a cutting list. The work we are going to perform, it has the steps, step by step. Step number one is a selection of tools, equipment, and materials, and prepare the workplace. So for number one is a selection of tools. Here we have different types of steel bar bend. We have different types of manual steel bar bend we use for bending steel bars. We have different types of clamps we use for fixing something. We have pliers. The pliers we use for tightening the binding wires. We have the bolt cutters we will use for cutting the steel bars of 6 mm diameter. We have a pipe bender we used for bending. And also we have the tape measure we used for measuring the length. We have a marker chalk. We have a marker pens, and we will use for marking. And also we have the chalks we used for marking also. We have a tape ruler and we use for measuring the distance. So, and we have to select the equipment we are going to use. We have two machines we are going to use. You have steel cutter machine we used for cutting, as the same this one, and this one is for cutting the steel bars. We call steel cutter machine. And you have automatic steel bar bender machine we used for bending. The selection of materials we are going to use, we have two types of materials we are going to use. We have a binding wire we used for fixing the steel bars. We have two types of steel bars we are going to use. The first one, it is the steel bars of 10 mm diameter. We will use it for footing and sub-columns. And also we have the steel bars of 6 mm diameter we used for stirrups. So the step number one is finished. Let us go to the step number two. Step number two is marking and cutting of steel bars on the different dimensions. According to our drawing we have here, we have cutting list. The cutting list number one, we are going to cut the distribution bar for a footing. We have 11 pieces of 10 mm diameter of the length 150. Let us make marking and cutting of the distribution bar for footing. We need 11 pieces. So we need 150. we need to mark 150. 150 is here. So we have marking number 1. Let us go to the marking number 2. $150. Remember, we need to mark and to cut 11 pieces for the distribution bar for 14. How much? 6. We need 150. $150. So 6, 9. We are going to mark more 2. $150. $150. So the marking of distribution bar for footing is finished. Now we are going to cut. So for cutting, we will use this steel cutter machine. That is to switch on the main source and switch on the machine. The machine is okay, is ready. Then we are going to cut. So these are 11 pieces cutted for the distribution bar for footing. So then the next, we are going to mark number 2 on the cutting list. We have 11 pieces of 10 mm diameter of the main bar for a footing. Now let us mark. Here we have 8, 9. Here we have 10. And the last one, 11 pieces. We have finished to mark 11 pieces for main bar of the footing. We are going to the next step, cutting. So it is the same. You start the switch on the main source of power, and then you switch on the machine. The steel bar is already marked. Now we are going to cut. So now this is 11 steel bars for many bar for a footing is already finished to cut. So on our cutting list, you have cutting list number 3. It is 8 of 10 mm diameter. We need to mark 120. These pieces are these are the pieces of the subcolumns. Because our subcolumns, it has 120. Now we are going to mark. Our subcolumn, we have 120. We are going to mark 120. Eight. So now marking is finished. We are going to cut. Now we are finishing cutting 80 bars for subcolumns. Our cutting list, according to our drawing, our cutting list, we have the last one, number 4. We need 4 pieces of 6 mm diameter of the length 130. 6 mm diameter is this one. We use it for stirrups. We need to mark 130. So we finish our marking, then the next step is cutting. Because it has a small diameter, we'll use this bolt cutter for a small diameters. So we finished to cut 6 steel bars for 6 mm diameter. We use it to making a stirrup. Now, class, I think this session of selection tools and cutting is clear. So we'll meet for the next session on bending. Stay safe and bye-bye.